What's up guys, welcome to a quick video where I wanted to talk about a confirmation about Greater Sonic Wave that is coming to the game, and also just talk about a little bit that is confusing me on it just a bit. It seems like Magic is maybe getting yet another nerf, but we're going to talk about that and I'll explain why I feel like that. But first of all, here is the clip that was on stream that confirms that we are getting Greater Sonic Wave, and you'll also get a little bit of extra information as well. That is the concerning bit to me. So here you go.
There's been some murmurs of a drop.
We're introducing Greater Sonic Wave as a drop from the top two monsters, so that's the Risen Ghosts and the Armored Phantoms. The reason we're adding this is that its staves have fallen way behind dual wield, with the exception of the Fractured Staff of Armadillo, so we're trying to add a little bit of power back to them. So this is aimed primarily at more mid-level players, so people who haven't unlocked Greater Concentrated Blast will benefit the most from this. However, we do know that this could lead to more switching to rotate Greater Concentrated Blast and Greater Sonic Wave, so we're introducing some other changes that will help to resolve this. So one of those is that we're linking Sonic Wave and Concentrated Blast. So this means that you won't be able to switch between the two as many players were previously doing. However, we're reworking what we would call noob trap abilities, such as Piercing Shot, Rack and Slice, to be better filler abilities and fit more into like the... So this lets us do more interesting things with other abilities. We're hoping to continue doing this with other aspects of combat to make them kind of more enjoyable and interesting to interact with.
Okay, so from that you can see that we will be in fact getting Greater Sonic Wave. Now this is good in a sense, and it will be good for low level players from what I can hear. People who can't afford to get dual wield, and maybe you already have a staff and you don't want to have to pick between them. So we don't yet know what Greater Sonic Wave is going to do. They haven't confirmed this yet, so keep that in mind. However, there is a few things that need to be mentioned because it's a little bit confusing for a mid to higher level player and endgame player, especially once you own a Staff of Armadillo. Now, this is going to be a weird update, or it absolutely could be, because they have said Greater Sonic Wave and Greater Concentrated Blast, the ability we already have, are now going to be linked. They didn't say anything specific about is this sharing cooldowns or how are they linked, but I'm going to assume they are sharing cooldown because they said this is to reduce the need to switch. So I'm going to assume that if you use Greater Concentrated Blast, then your Sonic Wave goes on cooldown. If you're using Greater Sonic Wave, then your Concentrated Blast goes on cooldown. So meaning you're probably going to have to pick between one of these. However, the Staff of Armadillo changes that were proposed led people to believe that Fortic auto-attacking, which is where you switch between your wand and your orb, and then your staff, so dual wield and two-handed versions, is going to be a more efficient and better way to do this. However, if you remove the separate cooldowns from these abilities, you are then removing another ability that you can then Fortic auto attack into. Now, this also kind of poses the question of, is one of these abilities now going to be dead content on arrival? Or is Greater Concentrated Blast going to be dead as soon as this other ability comes into the game? If one of these abilities is better than the other, even by a slight margin, you are going to have to pick between which one is the best one, and you will just not use the other option. However, I can only assume that the Greater Concentrated Blast is still going to be the stronger option because of the fact that the Staff of Armadillo works off of crit chance. Every time you crit, the Staff of Armadillo is going to fire out an ability damage hit, not an auto attack, and this means that you want to crit as often as possible. Greater Concentrated Blast increases your crit rate and therefore gives you more critical hits, and it hits more rapidly than a Sonic Wave will, unless they somehow make Sonic Wave hit multiple times, which we are yet to find out. That being said, unless Sonic Wave does exactly what Greater Concentrated Blast does and does the same with the crit rate, then one of them is going to be better than the other for most players, meaning that you're either not going to bother getting Greater Concentrated Blast or not getting Greater Sonic Wave, and one of them is now dead content. If they do the identical thing and Greater Sonic Wave does hit multiple times and does increase your crit chance and just basically is a two-handed version of Greater Concentrated Blast, then you only need to buy one either way, and one of them is dead content to that player. Now, they could have different effects. They could have an effect on Greater Sonic Wave that is worth using, and if it is, and if it's better than using the Greater Concentrated Blast crit chance, then you are likely not going to bother using Greater Concentrated Blast anymore, and so that codex becomes dead content instead. Of course, there could be other outcomes to this, and Jagex could absolutely prove me wrong on this, but it just seems a little bit confusing. Now, why could this be a nerf for mage users towards the end game who own a Staff of Armadillo or even just like Fortic auto attack in general? If you are going to Fortic, chances are you would do something along the lines of Great Concentrated Blast, then Dragon Breath, and then swap to a Staff, and you would either pick between one of your bleeds, or you would use a Sonic Wave. If you're in a Sunshine, you don't want to use a bleed, as it doesn't get buffed, so you would use a Fortic and a Sonic Wave. However, if these share a cooldown, you will not be able to use Sonic Wave because you've just used Greater Concentrated Blast, meaning that you lose out on that decent damaging basic ability. Your other options are to use a bleed in the Sunshine, or to use things like Rack, or Impact, or Shock, which is the same as Impact, just a lower damaging non-bleed ability, which you don't want to touch because they don't do anywhere near the damage that you would like to use. These are, in fact, in Jagex's own words in this stream, noob traps. They are looking to rework these, but unless they get reworked on the same release day as Greater Sonic Wave, then we are going to be basically missing out on a basic ability that we would use quite a lot. It would just go to the fact that, now we have to use Rack, or we have to use Shock, or we have to use bleeds in our Sunshine rotation. Either way, this just seems rather strange to me, and I just wanted to see what your guys' thoughts was, as well as sharing the information with you, as you may have missed the stream. But yes, Greater Sonic Wave has been confirmed. We will be getting it from Slayer mobs with the 4.3 update, and you will be able to trade it as a normal codex, just like Greater Concentrated Blast. Abilities like Rack will be getting reworked at some point, but it hasn't been confirmed if they're going to be done with this ability release or in the future, so we may end up be just missing out on an ability. And Greater Sonic Wave and Greater Concentrated Blast will be linked and share a cooldown from as far as I can tell. So let me know what you guys think about that. In other news, they did address the Staff of Armadyl changes and said that they have been looking at all the feedback, and one of the things that was brought up quite a lot apparently was the testing of the staff to make sure it is working correctly and isn't absolute garbage or way too strong when it's released. There's not tons of bugs and it's just not going to be a broken mess. They are looking and considering whether they can do a test world so that we'll be able to test that out for them. So it won't be in the live game, but there'll be another option where we can go and test it for them. This is something that would be incredible, and I hope they do this. And if they do, I hope it sets an example of something they can do in the future, and they will run things on a test world in the future, because players will test stuff better than the JMods ever can. And this isn't an insult in JMods. Players just have way more time, and there's some players in the game that can think so outside of the box that they can break almost anything that gets released into the game. So as we saw with the initial Staff of Armadyl release, it was broken as crap. So obviously it would be good to have a test world for this, and it would be something that I would hope can happen in the future. They haven't confirmed this is going to happen for sure. They're just looking into if it is possible, and if it is, then they will let us know. So hopefully that does happen. But overall, I am curious to see what happens with the Sonic Wave ability and how it fits into the rotation with the new Staff of Armadyl's changes, and even just into the main game when it releases now, because it's going to release before the new staff spec changes, and so it just doesn't seem like it's going to fit very well. But yeah, this seems like a bit of a magic nerf in some situations. I could be wrong. Like I said, this is all just off of the information we've got so far, and I will update you guys if there's any more to come out soon. Anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.